So this is what's called a masterclass. So I'll do the class bit, he'll do the master bit, if that's all right. So we'll split it that way. But thank you very much for joining us today. And as I said, we'll try and give you some insights around how you can turn IT spend into strategic value using IT financial management. So let's do a quick round of hands. Really quickly, just check you're awake. Left hand. Good, good, that's that one. Is it? Yeah, very good. Okay, who knows anything about IT financial management? Right, let's touch on those. Let's do a sobriety test. Are we okay? So, who knows TBM, Technology Business Management? A little bit. Who knows FinOps? FinOps, so we're getting a bit more on FinOps. Who has done FinOps foundation classes or done some sort of training and certification? Okay, brilliant. No, that's really good. So we can just level set that you guys actually don't want the master class, you want the beginner class. So we'll try and do that, which is ideally suited for me. So thank you for that. So we'll take about half an hour of your time. Hopefully we'll leave a little bit of time at the end. But if we don't, we're on the stand just next door and you can come and have a chat with us. IT financial management is a way of making IT, the perception of IT, from a cost center to a value center. It's the way of joining up all of your finance costs that you are obviously incurring, but then translating those into things that you recognize, like towers. So you all understand towers? So IT towers? So it's understanding your IT cost on your tower level. It's understanding the total cost of ownership with that transparency down to the individual invoice that could be for labor, hardware, SaaS, etc., for the services that you provide, for the products that you provide the business. And then it's that final piece, which is about managing the demand at the customer level, and then the chargeback, showback, and the planning with the customer, the business as well. So it's that closed loop, if you like, around demand, cost model, chargeback, and continual cycle. Why do you do it? Because with transparency, you have the opportunity to benchmark, for example, at the tower, see how you compare internally or externally, and then you can help reduce cost, reduce demand, reduce cost, rationalize services, and then you can spend more money on Copilot. Everyone happy? Does that make sense?
To me it does.
You're the master. And you have the clicker.
Yes, I do. Quick introduction.
So my name is Edward Bass, and I've been working with finance, the Office of Finance, for years. But actually, every time I put in a finance system, I spent 90% of my time with IT, because what is a finance system? It's a simple GL and a whole lot of data from everywhere else, isn't it? So essentially, I've been working in the Office of Finance, but really serenading in IT. So that's what I've been doing for the last 25 years. And at the moment, I work with SERVICEWARE, have done for the last few years, helping grow the international business and the UK as well.
So my name is Christopher Bortz. I started my professional career with McKinsey & Company, and after sidestepping for my PhD thesis, I returned into consulting business to SERVICEWARE. I'm their partner of the strategic consultancy branch. We are advising our customers that use our software products to make most value out of it by optimizing their IT service management operations processes on the one hand, and of course making most of IT financial management data and create value around that, as just mentioned.
So we want to get you start thinking about data. We don't want you thinking about finance and finance data. Yes, it is what you spend on IT, but we want you to think about it differently. We want you to think about the real units that matter, the real drivers that matter. So we have a little video.
There are rich teams, and there are poor teams. Then there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's us.
Welcome to Oakland. My job is to take this team to the championship. I need more money.
We're not going to compete with a $120 million payroll.
We got to think differently.
Your goal shouldn't be to buy players. Your goal should be to buy wins. Here is 25 players that have been overlooked like an island of misfit toys. In here is a championship team, one that we can afford.
Who's the kid?
The kid is the new assistant GM. We're going to shake things up. Tell him.
You want me to speak?
We're not pointing you yet. This is the new direction of the Oakland A's.
You don't put a team together with a computer, Billy.
Adapt to die. Do you believe in this thing or not?
100%.
not look like a winning team, but you are one. So, play like one tonight.
It's a game for good.
Moneyball, great film. Who's seen it? Yeah, if you haven't seen it, great film. You don't need to know anything about baseball, it's just a great film. It's a lot of fun. So Chris, what do you think?
Well, I think it makes 2 points that are really pertaining to our question here today, right? I mean, the first point they make is to really think about every pound, dollar, or euro we spend as to how it creates value for our customers. For the Oakland A's, it meant having a constrained payroll team that still wins games, wins titles. And for us in IT, it's the roster of our projects, products, services that should create as much value as possible for our business partners in terms of saving them cost in executing their processes or enabling them to create additional revenue. It makes another point, really, this movie, that in order to be able to do that, we need data. And we need data at a single source of truth. We need reliable data, and we need the methods to make use of that data, right? And maybe also the technology and the product. And in that sense, I mean, for the Oakland A's, it meant doing these statistics around players, how well they play, to just maximize the probability of winning a game, right? For us in IT, it means we need to combine our cost data with our performance data, with our resource volume data, consumption data, and the business value, of course, that we are aiming to create in order to make the right decisions, what services to provide, what projects to execute. Yeah.
20 games undefeated from losing everything, just looking at the data and working with the numbers. So, actually Red Sox, we'll talk about them later, but they did something different. So we all accept that data is important. We all accept that finance can tell us the cost of things, but the value of nothing. I think that's fair to say, isn't it? So let's put you on the spot here. Your experience of organisations, when it comes to IT spend and value, are they actually engaging with that?
Well, it's a tough business, really, because every stakeholder you look at, they have their own questions regarding the data, right, Ed? I mean, take the business, for example.
Why does it take so long? Why does it cost so much? Can't explain to me. Why do you need that many engineers? How do you arrive at those assumptions?
Yeah. And as an IT guy or a CIO, I would really like to kind of defend also my organization. Explain to the business what are the total costs of ownership of a life cycle of a service or a product, right? And also maybe to outline what share of those costs are really caused by your consumption and demand behavior, yeah? Which I have no control over as IT. But if you driving things away from standard, if you asking us to over-specify your hardware devices, etc., too high SLA, then this will cost money, and I cannot do anything about it unless I'm engaging in the discussion with you.
And of course, finance. We want it for less. There's a lot of top-down pressure, isn't there? Always top-down pressure. But they don't know the right questions to ask. So they just want you to deliver it for less. But that's an unrealistic question, isn't it, really? They should be asking you to benchmark your infrastructure and to see how you compare against your peers, shouldn't they? And if you're higher, then they should think about helping you and doing something about that. Maybe they should take the FinOps course and understand what reservation fees are on your AWS invoice. But then they wouldn't know what that is pointed at from an application or business point of view. So, they haven't got the data, but you guys do. But we've already established that you guys haven't got IT financial management in your organisations. Or have you? So how many of you are doing it and you don't know that you're doing it? So let's have a show of hands. Who's doing IT financial management? Not yourselves, but whose organisations are IT financial management? Would you say that it's working? TCO, are you being brought into the business conversation?
Do you bring FinOps into the business conversation?
And that might only be 10-15% of your spend. Okay. All right, so they're not really doing it, are they?
No, they aren't.
They're not really
Or
doing it.
just
They're doing a
part
good
of
job
it.
of getting started, I
Yes,
think. I
yes.
think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
But I've got a feeling there's a little bit further they could go.
Yeah, I mean, there are many products in the shelf of ITFM. Yeah, FinOps being one important. We talked about, I think, also this morning, vendor management, vendor optimization, contract optimization. I mean, vendors are choking us with inflating their prices in the past years, or at least some of them do.
Salesforce, 9%.
Again this year. Yeah, well, Microsoft isn't playing nice either, I heard yesterday. Yeah. And then, of course, we did talk about the question of demand optimization. And of course, which this whole thing here seems to be about is AI-based efficiency, right? I mean, creating value with new AI technology, right, for your business. So all of this, we would say, is part of the ITFM shelf, right? And we want to have a toolbox of processes, methods, and a technology, a database where we can basically perform these methods on and execute our processes on to get the right insights and make the right decisions.
I quite like units and quantities and unit pricing, don't you?
Oh yeah, that's
I don't
great
really
stuff.
like totals.
Yeah, that doesn't really help us.
And I like distributing based on, what's actually being consumed, not a sort of a guesswork percentage that I did in my tariff at the beginning of the year.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think? Fixed tariff? We'll just issue an invoice, it'll go away. We've satisfied our finance requirement. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, it is though true that we are actually all doing ITFM without knowing it.
Yeah.
Because we're all doing.
We will do it, yeah. And I mean, right so, right? Because there is a case to be made for ITFM, yeah? A Forrester study has shown that organizations who are introducing ITFM have significant potentials. And the question really is there a solution out there, right, that brings all the products that we have seen in the ITFM shelf together so that we can synergetically make use of them, yeah, and create value around them.
And actually, they conducted that study on our customers, didn't they?
They did.
They did, and they came up with some pretty powerful responses within that from the customer base. Shall we tell them what they are?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to steal your thunder here.
Oh, no, I'll go into the technical detail.
I'm going to take the 5%.
Yeah.
Can you imagine in the first 3 years you could save 5% of your overall IT budget? Sounds a bit salesy, doesn't it? Couldn't be true. But actually, if you put a FinOps platform in, you should be able to, just in that particular area, just focusing on the cost there, you should be able to drive a 15% saving. So you think about the potential savings here that are based on understanding, if you like, where that total cost of ownership is coming from, and then understanding the components of it, and then driving the cost down of each of those components. That's actually not a big number, is it?
No, it's rather conservative. I think we can do more, and we have been doing better than that even. Yeah. So, what are the levers behind this particular business case? Yeah. So the first lever, again, is cost avoidance on the business side. Yeah. So what I've done, for instance, for an automotive company was investigating their virtual desktop integration service. Yeah. And they had obviously different variants of that service. So basically ranging from bronze to gold. The difference was basically in gold you had more computing power in the back end than for bronze. So, and they have continuously, I mean, you need to go with technological advancement, they had increasing the specs for all these services. But still we saw then with our IT financial management solution that people gravitated toward gold away from bronze. Yeah? And I mean, who are these VDI users? Those are external suppliers typically that want to work with us as a big company. And they seemed to overspecifying. So if we went back to the benchmark level, we could have saved quite a sizable amount of money. Yeah? And this is what this cost avoidance through demand optimization is about. We also implemented then an initiative where we said, okay, as soon as a provider wants more than the standard bronze service, yeah, we incur we recover the cost from him for the silver and gold level service, right? To give him an incentive to really think about, do I really need all that computing power to do my work with the car manufacturer? Second thing, big lever, is optimizing ourselves. Yeah, and one powerful tool is benchmarking to identify the areas where we should look into, right? For that, we have launched a new benchmarking initiative also with the top management consultancy this year, who everybody is invited to participate, so that we can, on the one hand, identify the areas in our organization where we have anomalous spending, and also do a unit price and TCO cost benchmarking for particular commodity services that are industry agnostic. Yeah? So again, a powerful way of identifying areas for optimization and then really start discussing how I can realize those potentials. There are two other levers that are more around the financial management processes themselves, but these are really more about freeing up resources with operational finance processes to make more time for to realize potentials from the first two levers.
Just a point on the benchmarking, you don't need a full ITFM implementation.
No, you don't need any tool solution at all. So it's a very straightforward thing. Even companies that have not been doing ITFM on a high level of maturity have been able to fill out the benchmark form in less than 2 days.
So top two really is what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Avoiding and optimizing.
Right. Yeah. So,
pretty compelling business case. So if you were all thinking about, areas that you would focus on to try and reduce, has anyone thought about end user desktops? What's the variety of desktops that you've got around your organization? How many have got the standard? How many have got premium? How many have got lots in between? We were working with a company, a chemicals company only last year, 25 million saving for a rather large chemicals company just to standardize onto end user devices and to push people down to the standard. The savings are there, and that's easy. That's low-hanging fruit, isn't it? So I thought I'd mention that.
Yeah. But then again, it seems like ITFM doesn't seem to be always a very high priority, at least not as an investment project, right? So I wonder why. Ed, do you have any ideas?
Oh, I've got lots of reasons.
Really?
I've got loads of reasons. I'm too busy. I've got too many projects. Yeah. Oh, we've got some happening. Yes. No, we've got some finance and controlling and operational considerations. I mean, that's definitely true, and I've got 5 of those alone. Should we go through a few?
Maybe.
I think we don't do them all, but maybe we do the first couple.
Okay, let's do the first one.
Let's do so. Let's face it.
No service catalog.
Operational considerations.
Yeah.
Let's just start. I don't have a CMDB. I haven't got a service catalog. I haven't got the data.
Yeah. So actually, those are typical arguments, but really, it's a question of do you want to get started, right? And you don't really need a lot to get started. You need just some cost data from your ERP, and then we take it from there in the first step. Yeah, and then we can go there sprint by sprint, topic by topic, capability by capability, as was outlined multiple times today with the AI journeys. Yeah, so little POCs, little business cases for every step we take, for every ITFM capability we add, whether it's cloud cost optimization, benchmarking, vendor optimization, or whatever. Yeah, so all of them will have data requirements, and we will look into whether we need to work on the data, and if there is a business case to work on the data. Yeah. So and we have gone this journey with a lot of clients. Yeah.
Exactly. Have you got the skills? Do you know how to do it? You've probably got the Excel skills, let's be honest, but have you actually got the real skills? Have you got a TBM office, a FinOps office? Do you need them? Do you have those people from finance helping support IT on this journey?
Yeah. Well, if you don't, we offer that as a service, right? Currently, empowering organizations is the core of all of our ITFM projects, right? Currently in Southeast Asia, my team is onboarding 400 users to our solution. And we have the training materials, we have the training approaches, and we stay with them on site for 2.5 months, 3 people, yeah, to get everything up and running, to get their office, their ITFM office, TBM office up and running. And if you don't feel confident after that time, we remain with you, yeah, until it works, yeah. And also, of course, we remain with you until we realize the ITFM business case. Yeah.
That's 400 people who build up the annual plan for next year, based on an IT department which is coming up to 1,000 people, isn't it?
Yeah.
All relying now on one single set of numbers, one real set of the truth.
Right.
We have more reasons.
Yeah.
More, I would say more board level reasons. It's not relevant.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. I mean, if 5% or even more annual savings on IT budget is not relevant, okay. I mean, we need to really discuss what is, yeah. But I think we made the point here that ITFM is highly relevant. And I mean, you're doing it anyway, right? Now the question is, are we looking at the whole shelf or just bits and pieces of it?
But I'm going to skip the second one because I'm going to come to the number 7 because I'm fascinated by this one and I'd like your views on this. Does anyone in the room here think that if I give the business complete transparency that that's a bad thing?
It's not so much a bad thing, it's just whether or not the investment saving you make, you get back. Because what they'll do, you make that, and they go, thank you, we'll just take that off next year's budget.
Yeah.
You can do more with less, rather than giving it to you to invest in the next project.
But that's about value, isn't it? And a fair price and a fair recharge. But if you release that funding out of your IT budget and you go and do something else, it may not be for that team that has helped you reduce costs in one area. It might be for another team, but their P&L benefits and then someone else benefits with the additional investment. But it's about communicating it, isn't it? It's about showing you nodded and then you didn't.
I was going to say, I think it's a good thing to have transparency, because now you can limit your spending and you can think ahead if you want to expand to anything. This is the budget we have, and we should collaborate with it to try and actually scale.
Well, you're a great room and you should all pat yourself on the back because a lot of companies say,
I would think we do have transparency because I'm sure like you guys, but I have to go literally to every single line item of my budget with an FD and explain the business case on every single line.
Yeah.
Whether it's £12 or £100, it needs to be explained. So, but maybe larger organisations, it's not so easy.
that is a challenge in itself. The larger you are, the more services, the more products, the more that's going to be within that recipe, if you like, of data, internal, external labour, infrastructure and so on from the different vendors that will flow up to the service. That is true. The bigger you are, the more services and the more components. There's no doubt about that. The team that we're talking about has got, I think they've got 2,000 applications and hundreds of services.
Yeah.
It's more about connecting to service orientation, explaining how IT is contributing to value creation. So that is something which is finding it difficult. Sometimes people find it difficult because they can't connect the dots, and that's why it's not explaining that I'm 100K what you have earned, I've actually got 25K out of that. So can you give me 10K? So I'm giving you, spend 10K to give you 25K in 100K. So
Exactly. We have one more question.
Yeah.
One point?
Yeah, I've just found transparency doesn't often work both ways. I've found I then report it to finance and they absorb the information, but when are finance transparent back to IT?
Well, I don't know, once they've done their accruals, prepayments and adjustments and, it all makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's also why it's so important to ITFM to bring finance, IT and business stakeholders together, yeah? Yeah.
So we've reached the 1 minute mark at the end. So I hope that really what we've done here is to kind of explain to you that actually now is the right time to invest in IT financial management and start introducing that transparency across the TCO, because the gain is huge, isn't it?
It is huge, Ed. And I mean, we are happy to talk to you further about our technology and product, as well as our service offerings around this. We are standing by. We are hungry. Somebody said something this morning about hungry suppliers that will go the extra mile to make also you successful. So we want to go that journey with you, and we are here to start the journey now.
And the Red Sox?
Well, I think they won the
World Series when they adopted the approach.
Right.
I'm not saying that we're the Red Sox, more like the...
yeah.
No.
Well, yeah, okay.
He has actually got a T-shirt.
Yeah, I did, but...
And he was going to rip it open.
I was gonna, but
we're holding him back, just for modesty.
The time
and so on.
is not
But anyway, look, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
I hope that all made sense, and really appreciate your time for this today. And as I said, IT financial management, when you incorporate FinOps, gives you that transparency and that ability to actually then sit down with the business at the beginning of initiative, not later on down the road, and add real value. And then you can start calling yourselves the value creators and the centre of value.
Thank you.
Thank you.